close your eyes, turn your attention inwards, bring your awareness to your breath. And then 3 long, slow breaths deep into your belly. And as usual, we'll open with 3 ohms. Exhale, inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Open your eyes, release your hands. A word of the day is a poem by W.B. Yeats. It's called The Lake Isle of Innisfree. And it's about how he turns into his inner resource, to his place of peace, of calmness. And I think because we're in such an uncertain place in the world, it's good to know you have constant access to your inner resource. So I'll just quote the poem and we'll work with it during the practice. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, a small cabin built there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows shall I have there, and a hive for the honey bee. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. And midnight all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, the evening full of the linnet's wings. I will rise and go now, for always, night and day, I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. And when I walk on the street and on the pavement grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. So in our practice this morning, I'm inviting you to come into your deep heart's core, to that place of peace, to put down the worry and the anxiety that's external to you, and just be in it, that it's possible and it's always there. It's your inner resource. You have access to it every time when you need it. So sit in a way that's comfortable for you. It may be like I'm sitting, or you can stretch a leg out or both legs out, whatever works for you, whatever feels comfortable for you. But do sit up straight so that there is no rounding here in your spine, so it enables you to take nice full breaths. You might need a cushion. I actually have a wee block behind me that I'm sitting on, which may not be visible to you. So just whatever, grab something and say, we'll not be here for too long. So rooting down with your sit bones into the floor, and be as upright as is comfortable for you. Broaden across your collarbones, and bring an intention to your practice this morning, on this auspicious day, Easter Sunday. And find that place of peace within you. And start by inviting yourself to be curious about your breath. Notice the cool air flowing in through your nostrils, and follow it in. And if you can, follow it to a point where it disappears. Without changing your breath in any way. And as you breathe out, can you notice at what point your breath vanishes into thin air? And would it be possible for you to invite a space at that exact point where your breath turns, where your in-breath becomes your out-breath, and your out-breath becomes your in-breath? Without any pressure, without any stress, see if you can expand that pause between your in-breath and your out-breath, and when your out-breath becomes your in-breath. And now can you invite in a sense of peace into that space? And noticing the sensation of that sense of peace within you. And if you get carried away momentarily by your thoughts, without judgment, come back to the companion of your breath. And would it now be possible for you to shift your attention from your breath to that place of peace, so that your body is breathing itself, or is being breathed? You are receiving your breath. And now just let go of thought without effort, focusing on that sense of peace. A sense of joy. would it be possible to shift your awareness out of your body, out beyond the boundaries of your skin? Gently expanding, growing, and can you ask yourself, where is the center? As you shift your attention away from you, where is the periphery? Invite that sense of peace to expand and expand, radiating out, radiating sensation. And now, if you're ready, can you shift your attention once more? Move your attention to the awareness of your body. Body breathing itself. So visualize expanding out from your body, coming back in, and expanding within your body that sense of peace. So it's almost like an egg timer. And once again, ask yourself, where is your center in all of this? Where is the periphery? Now once again, shifting your attention, come back to your breath. Notice the cool air flowing in and the warm air flowing out. Notice the sensation of your body as it sits. Notice yourself back in the room. And when you're ready, if you like, you can open your eyes. We make our way into down dog. So come onto your hands and knees. Hands wider than shoulders, knees under hips, turn toes under, lift hips up. First down dog of the day, perhaps of the week for some of you. And you might like to bring your down dog for a walk, so bend one knee deeply and then bend the other, looking at a point between your fingertips, noticing your breath. So pushing deeply into one heel and bending a knee, pushing deeply into the other heel and bending a knee. Noticing your breath. Breath is always there. And come onto your hands and knees and move into cat-cow. hands under shoulders, grip the floor with your fingertips, exhale round your body up, inhale, lift your head, look up, sink down between your shoulder blades, exhaling, rounding up. Get as much movement, a beautiful wave of movement in that spine. Inhale, sinking down, melt your heart, drawing your shoulder blades onto your back, exhaling, rounding up. Inhaling, sinking down. Body following the breath. The breath moves, then your body moves. I'm coming back to a place of stillness. We're moving into cat, forward to knee. So exhale, round your back up, bring your forehead to your knee or your elbow if you can't make it to your knee, and then inhale, or if you can't make it to your forehead, and then inhale, lift your leg up behind you, flex and point it. Exhale, round up. Inhale, stretch out behind you. Do 3 more of those on that side. Exhale, round up. Inhale, stretch out. And so on. And release that leg to the floor. Walk your knees back 1 hand's pace. Turn your toes under, float your shoulders over your wrists, lift your head, engage your core. More doable, feet hip width apart. More difficult, squeeze your heels together. Keep your core nice and bright, so we don't want any belly flop planks like this. That's not what we're after. This is what we're after. You can also do this on your knees if for some reason this is a bit strong. Lower gently to the floor into locust 1, arms by your sides, turn your palms up, squeeze your heels together, inhale, lift your head and shoulders off the floor, invite your shoulder blades onto the back, press the backs of your hands into the floor, flare your toes, engage your quads, tighten your glutes. Your glutes are your buttocks, you're just wondering, but it's not the grip of death on them. Just that you're supporting your lower back when you work those muscles. Release to the floor, bring the side of your face to the floor and just rest. And just sink down. From here we'll make our way to down dog lunge. Place your hands under your shoulders, come onto your knees, turn your toes under, lift your hips up, invite your heels to come to the floor. Grip the floor with your fingertips, externally rotate your upper arms, and then lift your right leg high, bring it forward, place it on the floor, line up your fingernails with your toenails. Place your left hand on the floor and lift your right arm up. Lift the back of your back knee up. Open your chest to the universe. Enjoy your yoga on this wonderful Sunday morning. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. You're the best manifestation of life that has chosen to show up today in your body. And switch to the other side. Front foot back. Back foot forward. Line up your fingernails with your toenails. Lift your left arm up. Look up. Lift your chest up to the sky. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. Lift the back of your back knee up. Lower your left hand to the floor. Step your back foot to join your front foot and move into power pose, arms band. You can stand up at this point. More doable, feet hip width apart, or double fist width apart as we say. Clasp your hands behind your back. Bend your elbows. Place your thumbs on your lower back, in your sacrum area. Then bend your knees, lower your hips, round your back, bring your forehead to your knees, lift your arms off your back, sink back in your throne. Press down, stand up, and moving into twisted lunge. Walk to the back of your mat. And take a big step forward with attitude and intention with your right foot. Bend your right knee. Bring your hands together as if in prayer. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. And then cross your body and bring your left elbow to the outside of your front knee. Press top hand into bottom hand. Roll top ribs back, top shoulder back. And then look at front foot. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. Lift the back of your back knee up. Keep rolling your top shoulder back. Lower your hands to the floor and switch feet. Front foot back. Back foot forward. You can lift it up and kick it forward. Torso upright. Hands as if in prayer in front of you. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. And then cross your body and bring the outside of your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Press knee into elbow, elbow into knee. Roll left ribs back, left shoulder back. Endeavour to parallel your thumbs with your sternum. Look at front foot. Lift the back of the back knee up. Lower your hands to the floor. Step your feet together. Moving into crescent pose. Lift your arms overhead. Clasp your right bicep with your left hand. Engage your core. Move your hips to the right, your torso to the left. Be as sideways as possible. Notice your breathing. Be careful not to collapse into the side you're leaning into. Press down equally with both feet into the floor. Inhale, come back to centre and switch arms. Be as sideways as possible in the other direction. Inhale, come back up. And moving into lunge pose, walk to the back of your mat. Take a big step forward again with your right foot and lower your hands to the floor. Back heel vertical, front shin vertical, knees over toes, knees over ankle. Lift your head, look up. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. From here, coming up into high lunge, lift your hands off the floor, lift your torso upright, lift your arms up, look up. hands to the floor, switch feet, front foot back, back foot forward, come up onto the tops of your fingers, knee over ankle, back heel vertical, lift the back of the back knee up, come to your breath, bring your attention to your breath. Inhale up into high lunge, lift your arms up, sink down, stretch your front knee away from your back heel, lift your gaze, look up. Release your hands to the floor and move into down dog. Step your front foot back to join your back foot, arms wider than shoulders. Grip the floor with your fingertips, externally rotate your upper arms, turn your hips up, melt your heart. Look at a point between your fingertips, between your thumbs rather. Making our way into child's pose. Come and sit back on your heels and bring your hands, your head to the floor. So stretch your arms out in front of you and come up onto the tops of your fingers. Now more doable, knees apart, keeping your heels together. More difficult, knees together, heels together. Inhale, creep your fingers forward. Exhale, sink down on your heels. And now walk your hands all the way around to the left. Come into sideways child's pose, keeping your knees and your hips where they are, and feel that lovely stretch over the top of your shoulder and down your right side. You're still up on the tips of your fingers. Your head is as close to the floor as your body is able for today. Inhale, come back to centre and all the way around to the other side. Allow your head to come to the floor. Come back to centre and moving into boat pose, boat stage 1. So sit down, excuse me, and bend your knees, bring your inner heels together, your big toes together, and lean back slightly and come up onto the tops of your toes, arms out either side of your legs, and just stay here. Lift your chest, stretch your spine, lift your head, look up. So you're lifting your toes slightly off your mat. Keep squeezing your legs together. Moving from here into half boat, stretch your legs out in front of you. Clasp your hands behind your head, elbows out to the sides, lift your head, look up, squeeze your inner thighs together, the inner heels, your inner big toes, engage your core, look up. More doable, keep your legs on the floor, more difficult, lift them off. And release. And make your way into levitating sage, one of my not so favourite poses, I may as well tell you. Place your hands on your hips, feet hip width apart, Stretch the sides of your body long from your hips to your armpits. Invite your shoulder blades to come onto your back. Lift your right knee up as high as you can. Inhale, stretch it out, flex and pointed. Gaze straight ahead. Try not to lean back. And release to the floor and switch to the other side. Inhale, lift your left knee up as high as you can. Stretch it out in front. Flex and pointed. Lift your gaze, look up. Squeeze your elbows back behind you. Broaden across your collarbones. And gently release. And moving into Warrior 3. You can use a block or 2 books for this if you wish, or just put your hands on the floor. So set your blocks up at the end of your mat. If you're using blocks, I'm not using them this morning. So inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, step forward with your right foot. Lean forward, place your hands on the floor or on the blocks. Walk your hands forward so your hands are under your shoulders. Lift your left leg up behind you. Stretch and point it. Engage the quad in the right leg. And be careful so that you're flat across your back here. That your left hip isn't stacked over your right hip. And release. And we get to do it on the other side. Lift your arms up. Step forward with your left foot. Lean forward. Place your hands on the floor. Lift your back leg up behind you. Flex and point. And release. And moving into eagle pose. Come into the middle of your mat. Shift your weight to your left foot. And lift your right leg out to the side and wrap it around the left leg. The further you can get it out, the more you can get it around, basically. Lift your left arm up. Wrap the right underneath. Hug the midline. And then keeping your back straight, move your ears back. And focus on a point that's level with your eyes. And then bend your knees and sink down. Inhale, press down, stand up and switch to the other side. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Lift your left leg and wrap it around the front of the right. Lift the right arm, wrap the left underneath. Keeping your back straight, bend the standing legs, sink down. Don't forget, square your hips, your shoulders to the straight edge of the mat in front of you. Hugging the midline. Press down, stand up, and from here we move into elevated locust. Walk to the back of your mat. You can either do this with your arms by your sides or by clasping your back, hands behind your back, or place your hands on your hips, so what feels comfortable for you. And don't forget, no pain equals gain. In my yoga, and it was in a place between 1 and 10, where 1 is a day at the beach and 10 is agony. You should be working at somewhere about 4.5. If it goes beyond 4.5, 5, you back out of the pose. Listen to your body. So whichever way you decide to put your hands, if you're clasping behind you, interlace your fingers, step forward with your right foot, bend your right knee, lean forward, lift your back leg out behind you, flex and pointed. And again, don't forget to level the horizon of your buttocks. Straighten the standing leg if it's available. Lift your arms up as high as you can. Turn your thumbs up if your arms are by your sides. Inhale, press down, stand up, and just feel that, the sensation in your right leg and how it differs from your left leg, your left foot. Walk to the back of the mat again. Step forward with your left foot this time. Bend your left knee. Lean forward. Lift your back leg off the floor. Strengthen the standing leg. Lift your head, look up. Inhale, come back up, and moving into no hand lunge. Step your feet wide apart. Line up the root of your second toe, the middle of your ankle, of both feet. Turn your right foot out. Clasp your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. And just resting your thumbs on your lower back, bend your right knee, sink down. Move your right knee out in line with your second toe. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hinge forward. Bring your upper body to the inside of your front leg. Lift your arms off your back. Bring them to vertical or beyond. Allow your head to drop. Look back between your legs. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Engage your quad. Press your right foot into the floor. Relax your breathing. Lower your hands, press down with your right foot, straighten your front knee, come all the way back up, turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out, bend your left knee, lift your chest, stretch your spine, bend your elbows so that your thumbs are on your sacrum. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, hinge forward, and lift your arms off your back to vertical or beyond. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Engage your quad, right leg. Press your front foot into the floor. Lower your thumbs. Press down with your front foot. Bend, straighten your front knee. Turn your left foot out and step your feet together. And come into Tadasana. Feet together, hands by your side. Close your eyes, turn your attention in, awareness to your breath. Root down firmly with both feet into the floor. The four corners of the feet firmly planted. Squeeze your shins in, your inner thighs. Engage your glutes. Engage your core. Stretch the side body long. Broaden across your collarbones. Invite your shoulder blades onto your back. Move your ears back. Notice all that's arising for you now. Drop into that place of peace that's always there, your inner resource. From here we'll move to reverse mudra, so again moving to the back of your mat, and again you might like to use blocks with this pose. So you step forward with your right foot, turn your back foot out slightly, press down equally with both feet into the floor, both legs straight and strong. And I'm inviting you not to have a bend in your front knee or back knee. If you find your knees bending because your hamstrings are tight, that's fine, but step your feet a little bit closer together. And if there is a slight bend, that's good, don't force it. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hinge forward, place your hands on the floor. Lift your head, stretch your spine, and then hinge forward and bring your chin to your shin. Engage your quads. Draw your right hip back, your left hip forward, flare your toes. Press down, stand up and switch feet. Front foot back, back foot forward, square towards the front of the mat. Inhale your arms up, exhale, hinge forward, place your hands on the floor. Draw your left hip back, your right hip forward, and then hinging, bring your chin to your shin. And press down and stand up. And moving into the centre of the mat, we are moving to extended side angle. So step your feet wide apart. Again, checking the setup of your feet, the foundation of your pose. The root of the second toe should be pointing directly towards your ankles. So if it's not, you'll find that your toes pointing out towards the corner of the mat or something like that. So adjust yourself. Turn your right foot out. You might like to use a block in this. And just use one in this case to demonstrate it. Or use a book, good thick book. And place the block on the little toe side of your front foot. Inhale your arms up. Bend your right knee, sink down. Move your front knee out in line with your second toe. And be careful not to do this. Don't be leaning over your front leg. Okay, keeping that. Inhale, stretch up. And then exhale, hinge forward. Place your hand on the block on the floor. Or bring your hand to the floor. Lift your top arm over your left ear. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Stretch from the tip of your fingers down to the back of your foot. Move your front knee out. Press your knee into your elbow into your knee. You can also do this by putting your right elbow on your knee, not go down as far. Look up towards your top hand. Inhale, press down, stand up and switch sides. Take your block with you or your book. Turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out, place your block. You can buy these blocks online, Yoga Matters. They'll send them to you in the post. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, bend your knee, place your hand on the block and lift your top arm over your ear. Look up at your top hand arm. Move your left knee out into your elbow. And press down and stand up and switch to the other side. Coming into revolve Trikonasana. Place your block again. Step your back foot in a little closer and turn towards the short end of your mat. So you square your hips, your shoulders towards the short end of the mat. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Place your right hand on your hip. Exhale, hinge forward. Place your hand on the block or on the floor. And then roll your right shoulder back, your right ribs back. Turn your sit bones up. Draw your right hip back, your left hip forward. Squeeze your right hip, front inner thigh towards each other. Look up. Top arm vertical. And release and switch to the other side. I forgot to say in that pose that if you find it wibbly wobbly, move your feet out to towards the edge of the mat rather than hugging the midline of the mat. Place your block. Square your hips, your shoulders to the front of the mat. Inhale your arm up. Cross your body, place it on the block or the floor, and then lift your left arm up. Press the back foot into the floor. Squeeze your back hip, front inner thigh to each other. Look up. Bring the tiniest hint of a smile to your eyes. And gently release. And moving into forearm lunge, come onto your hands and knees. Step your right foot forward. And then lower down onto your elbows. Again, you might need a block or a cushion or something to get a little bit of height. Clasp your hands together. Turn your back toes under. Sorry, stay here, more doable, more difficult. Turn your back toes under and lift your back knee off the floor. Lift your head, look up. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. Lift the back of your back knee up. Careful your back ankle doesn't drift out to the side. Gently release and switch to the other side. Front foot back, back foot forward, lower down onto your elbows. Turn your toes under and lift your back knee off the floor. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. And gently release and come and make your way up to sitting. I'm just going to check the time here, see how I'm going. This practice is going to run on a little bit, so maybe some of you have other things to do. Stretch your left leg out and catch your foot and draw your right foot back and hold your right heel with your left arm, lift your right arm up. Place your hands between your legs and hook your leg over your upper arm. And keep that and engage the outstretched leg on the floor and lean back. Look up. And release and switch to the other side. Stretch your right leg out, bend your left knee, clasp your foot, lift your foot off the floor, invite the knee to come back, and then hold your ankle and lift your left arm up and bring your hands between your legs and place it. Make sure your fingers are in line with each other either side of your body and lean back slightly and lift your right leg off the floor, flex and pointed, look up. And release to the floor. Moving into seated pigeon, bend your right knee and invite your right knee to come in, your right heel to come towards your upper inner right thigh. Lift your left foot shin off the floor and baby cradle it. Bring the sole of the foot into the hook of the arm, the knee into the hook of the other arm. Invite your shin to come parallel across the front of your body. More doable, hold your leg like this, or you may be somewhere out here and that's fine too. So, and then press down with your sit bones into the floor, make both feet active. Gently release and switch to the other side. Bend your left knee, invite your heel into your upper inner thigh, baby cradle your right foot leg, bring your shin across your body, press your sit bones into the floor, engage your core, be as upright as possible. And release. Move to down dog and through down dog into fallen sage. So I'll do this way so you can see what I'm doing. Some of you love this pose, not. Hands wider than shoulders. Pivot your ankles to the right. So the outside edge of your right foot is on the floor, the inside edge of your left foot is on the floor. Lift your right leg across the front of your body, under your left leg. Float your shoulders over your hips, lift your head, look up. And then gently lower to the floor. So basically your right leg is forward, your left leg is back. And then bend your elbows, lower to the floor, lower your chest to the floor, and look away from your right foot. Forearms vertical, cobra arms. Keep both feet active and legs as far apart from each other as is possible. Notice the great twist in your lower abdominal area, all the way up your spine. Inhale, come back up. And from here, lift your hips off the floor. So you're in a plank with your legs crossed. Move through down dog and over to the other side. Hands wider than shoulders. Pivot your ankles to the left. And then stretch your, no, got that the wrong way around. And then move your left leg forward and lower all the way to the floor. Stretch your left leg as far away from your right leg as possible. And then bend your elbows, bring your chest to the floor, cobra arms, and look away from your outstretched legs. Inhale, come back to center and lift your shoulders off the floor. And again, essentially you're in plank with your legs crossed. Your left leg is forward, your right leg is back. You're on the edge, outside edge of your left foot, you're on the inside edge of your right foot. And release. I'm not sure where we're going next. Oh yeah, cobra. So come into cobra, come and lie in your belly. Stretch your legs out behind you. Place your arms in cobra arms. So place the hands halfway down your ribs. Squeeze your elbows together. Invite your shoulder blades onto your back. Coming through the gateway of your arms. Press the tops of your feet into the floor to flare your toes. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Keep a slight bend in your elbows. Squeeze your inner heels together, your inner shins, your glutes. Move your ears back. Lift your chest up. And release. I'm moving into half cobra. So cobra with legs off the floor. Squeeze your legs together. Inhale, come through the gateway of your arms, lift your head and chest off the floor. Legs off the floor, head and chest off the floor. And release. From here we'll move to bow pose. Bend your knees, clasp your ankles with your hands. Turn the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Keep your knees on the floor in this case. See if you can make the soles of your feet parallel to the ceiling. Use your legs to lift your head and shoulders off the floor. And release. And come into squat pose. So come into standing and turn your feet out a little bit so your toes are pointing towards the edges of your mat. And then sinking down, endeavouring to keep your heels on the floor. If this is not available for you today, you could catch a block or a book and you can pop it under your heels like this, which makes it a lot easier. If you want to get your heels to the floor, just move your feet out towards the long edges of the mat. Bring your hands to the floor, lift your head, look up.
and then lower your head and reach back and clasp the outside edges of your ankles with your hands. Squeeze your knees into your upper body and turn in. From here we'll make our way into crane pose. Place your hands wider than your shoulders. Press your knee into your elbows into your knee. Lean forward and then lift off one toe, lift off the other toe, and keep squeezing your knees together. If it's available, please straighten your elbows, lift your hips, heels up even higher. And release to the floor. And make your way into cow face pose. Come and sit up. Stretch your legs out. Cross your right leg over your left leg. More doable, this. More difficult. Bend the left knee and bring the heel into the hip. Do this if both sit bones are on the floor. You can also prop something under a sit bone if there's a little bit of space between the sit bone on the floor. And coming into the rest of the pose, cow face pose, lift your left arm up, bend your elbow, invite the hand to come down your back. Lift the right arm way out to the side, that gives you extra length in your arms. Clasp your hands behind your back, point your elbow at the ceiling, look up. Press your sit bones into the floor, make both feet active. And release and switch to the other side. So you can do a Marilyn Monroe, which is this here, or you can do this. Try this one. Keeping your sit bones on the floor, place your hands, turn to the left, place your hands on the floor. Keep that, don't move your feet, lift your hips off the floor, don't move your feet, walk your hands all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, and sit down again. There you go. How'd you get on with that? Okay, again you can have your bottom leg stretched out. Sit bones on the floor, lift your right arm up, bend your elbow, bring your hand down your back. Lift your left arm out to the side, clasp your hands together, point your top elbow at the ceiling, look up. Make both feet active, press your sit bones into the floor. And release. And from here we're moving into a pigeon quad stretch with the hip on the floor. So lift your left knee and bring your knees together so that you're sitting on your right hip. Place your right hand on the floor and place your left hand on your left ankle, and then just simply bring that left ankle behind you and as close into your hip as you can. Lean on your right hand and lift your chest, stretch your spine, look up. And switch to the other side. Roll over onto your right hip, clasp your right ankle, bring your knee back behind you, lean on your left hand, square towards the front of the mat, stretch the sides of your body long, point your right elbow towards the ceiling, look up. And release, and moving into star pose. Take something, block anything you've near, a book, and place it to create a space between your feet. So there it is, quite wide. Press your sit bones into the floor, holding your toes. Inhale, expand, and then of course we contract. And rounding, bring your forehead to your knees. Your forehead to the block. Press the soles of the foot into the block. Notice the impact that has on your knees. Don't press your knees down, just press the soles of your feet into the block. Notice your inner hamstrings. Inhale, come back up. And now put the block or the book or whatever it is you're using to one side and bring the soles of your feet together. Coming into bound angle. Invite your heels closer into you. Stretch your spine up. Hinging forward. Bring your chin to the floor. Press the outside edges of your feet, the little toe side of your feet towards each other. Open the top of your feet like a book. And release. And moving into triad hip on block. So bend your right knee and bring the top of your foot onto the floor. Take a block or a book and slip it under your left outstretched leg. Bend your knee. Stay here, more doable. More difficult, walk the knee back and stretch the leg up. Squeeze your right heel into your right hip. Flex and point your left foot. Engage your quad. Draw your leg in closer to you, endeavouring to keep it straight. And release and switch to the other side. So take your block and pop it under your right buttock. Squeeze your left heel into your hip and catch your right foot. And again, this may be as far as you go. Or you could bring it to here where your shin is parallel to the ceiling and hang out here, or stretch it up, flex and point it. Look up. And release. And coming into twisted sage, come and sit on your right hip. Knees bent, feet out to the left. Bisect your right foot with the top of the left foot. Place your right hand on top of your left knee. Place your left hand behind you. Press down with your left hand into the floor. Roll your left ribs back, your left shoulder back. Broaden across your collarbones. Look over your right shoulder. Press your sit bones towards the floor. And we'll switch to the other side. Bend your knees. Stack your right foot, so the top of your right foot bisects the arch of the left foot. Place your left hand on your left knee. Place your right hand behind you. Press your sit bones into the floor. Look over your front shoulder. And release. And from here we'll move into bridge pose. Come and lie on your backs. Bend your knees. Place your heels in front of your hips on the floor. Walk your feet out towards the long edges of the mat. No, don't. Keep them in front of your hips. And then shrug your shoulders together. And to do this you need to lift your hips off the floor. So press your heels into the floor, lift your hips up. Walk your arms in underneath. Then shrug your shoulders towards each other. So you're inviting your shoulder blades to come onto your back, and then investigate where your toes have gone, and could they be pointing out and gone doolally-wise. So turn them in and try and guess where the root of that second toe is. Press down the feet into the floor, float your shoulders, float your hips up, press your head into the floor, lift your chin out of your chest. Tighten your glutes. And see, can you lift your hips even 5 or 10% higher? And release. And moving into double diamond, walk your feet out towards the longer edges of the mat. Allow your knees to come down towards the left. Make goalposts of your arms. Turn your palms up. And then lift your head off to the floor. Turn it, look away from your knees, place your head back on the floor and just sink down, let go here. Switch to the other side, knees back to centre, and allow them to come all the way down to the other side and look away from your knees. And moving to firmly rotated pose, bring your feet together, knees into chest, and roll towards your left hand side and allow your hips to come to the floor on that side. And then keeping your knees as bent and your ankles stacked one on top of the other, lift your head off the floor and look away from your knees. The higher up your knees are, the higher the twist comes on your spine. Endeavouring to keep both shoulder blades on the floor. Press the back of your hand or arms into the floor. Inhale, come back to centre and switch to the other side. Allow your knees to come down. I'm just going to move some things out of my way here. And place your arms on the floor behind you. Knees well tucked in. Stacking your ankles and look away from your knees. Inhale, come back to centre. And moving into recline big toe prep. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Curl your right knee in and clasp your thigh with both hands. This may be as far as you go, or stretch your leg up towards the ceiling. Press your thigh into your hands into your thigh. Make both feet active. Press through your heels. Press the back of the left leg into the floor. Press your lower back into the floor. Invite your shoulder blades onto your back. Stretch the sides of your body long. Press your head into the floor. And then keeping all that, draw that right leg towards you. But keep pressing into your hands with the thigh. And switch to the other side. Stretch your right leg out. Curl your left knee in. Clasp your thigh. Stretch it up and draw that whole leg towards you. Keep both feet active. Press the back of the right leg into the floor. Shoulder blades on your back. Move your ears back. From here, we'll move into thread the needle. Bend your knees, place your heels onto the floor. Lift your right foot and place the outside edge of your right foot on top of your left knee. Bring your left knee into your chest. You can either hold the thigh or the knee. Drawing your knee in closer, you feel it more in your hip. Press your right elbow into your right knee, invite it to move away from you. Press the lower back into the floor. Invite your shoulder blades onto your back. And switch to the other side. Place your feet on the floor. Lift your left foot, place the outside edge of your left foot on top of your right knee. Bend your right knee and lift your foot off the floor and bring your knee into your chest. And release, and into reclined child's pose. Bring both knees into your chest and give yourself the most kindly, loving, delicious Easter bunny hug. And now prepare for relaxation. So you know what to do. Get yourself a blanket. If you have an eye pillow, get that too. And make yourself as comfortable as possible. Perhaps you want to put on socks or something like that so that you don't cool down. And when you're ready, come and lie down. We're here for the next few minutes, slightly longer than we do in class. So lying down, stretch your legs out, stretch your arms out, lying on your back, and turn your palms up. And close your eyes and turn in. Receive your breath and let go of everything.
Begin to deepen your breathing. Bring your attention back into your body and onto the mat. Begin to awaken your body by moving your hands, your feet. And in your own time, bend your knees, roll to one side, maybe pause for a moment on your side, and then make your way up to sitting. Bring your hands together in front of your heart as if in prayer. We'll close our eyes and turn in one last time. And just to remember that line from Yeats, and I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of morning to where the cricket sings, and midnight all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, evening full of the linnet swings. And we'll close our practice today with one Om. Exhale, inhale. Om. Thanks for practicing. Thanks for coming to practice, and see you on the mat.